Dark Knight trilogy finally completed. I finally sat my ass down and decided to watch some movies. So the other night I did a big marathon of some latest movies that came out, and some of which I had interest in seeing in the theater, but I didn't get to, unfortunately, because well, unlike most people, when I go to a movie theater, I like to see movies with other people. You know, I have a bit of an antisocial disorder, and well, I don't like going to see movies by myself. I feel weird doing that. So anyway, recently I did a marathon of three movies. Dark Knight Rises, Cabin in the Woods, and Prometheus. And I'll tell you everything about them. Okay. Dark Knight Rises, I actually thoroughly enjoyed. I very much enjoyed. And, really didn't have that much problem with it. I mean, I had a few tiny little problems. You know, nothing major. But was certainly able to enjoy it, for what it was. Was certainly able to recognize, some flaws, but it didn't bother me enough to a point that, made me, you know, not enjoy the movie or anything like that. So, Dark Knight Rises for me was good. And well, hell, I mean, obviously I enjoyed it enough to buy the entire trilogy on Blu-ray, for crying out loud. So, there's that brief synopsis. I should probably explain the little things that kind of bothered me a little bit. The end, or the beginning of it felt a little bit rushed. I don't really know how to explain that. And I'm sure everybody will say the same thing, that Bane's voice felt a little bit silly at times. It felt like an overly, like a very overly done, Sean Connery impression, as quite a lot of people have pointed out. But I feel after his introduction and then nearly halfway through the movie, he does become very intimidating. And so, and so you lose that. But judging from how they wanted to use it, and and just going by a lot of what I was hearing from a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, that was kind of what they were going for, and I think they made it work for the most part. Spoilers. I thought Bane's death felt a little anticlimactic. And then, the realization that he's not really the villain, that he, is just a thug. That was a little disappointing, but still, he was a very powerful presence. It might have been a little bit better, if he was, the villain. But, I really didn't let that bother me that much. I found the ending just fine. Didn't really have too much of a problem with any other cast members. I thought Anne Hathaway was fine as Catwoman. Of course, yeah, Christian Bale's Batman voice is a little overdone, like always, just like in Dark Knight, where it all began. But, I was able to get over it. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good movie and a pretty good way to end it. So, moving on, Cabin in the Woods. I liked what Cabin in the Woods did, and certainly achieved a new sort of twist on the horror genre cliche, and really playing with it. And playing against type, and then really experimenting with it. I really liked that. The idea of taking, likable characters that aren't, that cliche, typical character, and then, and then these, the sect of the puppeteers, who take these characters and turn them into what they have to be in order for them to, satisfy whatever it is that they have to satisfy. yeah, I'm trying to avoid spoilers for everybody. So, you know, and you know, if you like a good and interesting horror movie that actually tries to do you know, something really new with the genre, and you like Joss Whedon, you know, then you probably have already seen this and you probably enjoyed it. Prometheus. Is it at all any shock that I didn't like it? I mean, is it really? And, you know, and I watched, you know, the whole thing, by the way, from beginning to end. All movies, in fact, from beginning to end. Marathoned them all in one night. Good Lord. I have no life. But, I really didn't like Prometheus, and really I kind of figured that I wasn't going to. You know, I mean, there's no character in this movie that I was able to root for. At all. I mean, every character, they're either an idiot or they're an asshole. You don't like any one of them. And, you know, and much like everybody has said, you know, with a lot of the problems that have been pointed out, like, how is it that the guy who mapped out the entire ship with his little gizmos, how is it that he got lost? Yeah, exactly. How did he get lost? Shitty writing, pretty much. And the fact that the movie raises more questions, and it doesn't really bother to answer any of them. And, you know, I just couldn't enjoy it. And the David character, I mean, is he supposed to be evil or is he not? It felt like that they couldn't decide on what exactly his trait was. Was he evil or was he not? Or maybe it was just the way that they told him, you know, to portray it. And really the movie to me just felt like a giant middle finger. It really bothered me. And, you know, but luckily, you know, I really didn't care that much. You know, I was mostly just sitting through a lot of it like this, and then at the end going, yeah, that sucked. And the alien at the end, you know, the chest burster that comes out of the engineer, was that really meant to be the way that it was supposed to be? I mean, it looked both cute and kind of creepy, you know, but not, you know, it, you know, it, you know, and like a friend of mine pointed out, and this is something I almost said while I was watching the movie, it looked like the alien has a dolphin head, you know, and it just wasn't very good, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. None of the characters were likable. There you go. So, in short, I thoroughly enjoyed Dark Knight Rises. I know Dark Knight Rises has been getting quite a few mixed opinions, but not really anything like overly disappointing or, you know, or anything like that. Oh, I suppose one thing I feel I should mention, why did they think that the movie needed to take place 8 years after the events of Dark Knight? But, you know, that's, you know, really just more of a simple question, really. Yeah. But there you go. I thought Dark Knight Rises was great. I thought it was a satisfying ending. I thought Cabin in the Woods was, you know, was actually pretty good. Certainly worth checking out. Really, the only thing that really bummed me out about it was that I had to rent it on DVD, so every single time there was a shot of something in the dark, you couldn't see anything. So, Prometheus, didn't like it. Well, there you go. There's a quick capsule review. Hope you guys enjoy. See ya.